Welcome to Hot Flash Chronicles, where midlife is messy, menopause is madness, and we're sweating through it together.
We're Angie and Shelly, two caffeine-fueled, slightly inappropriate grandmas who say what everyone's thinking.
So grab a drink, crank up the AC, and let's dive in. Angie.
Shelly.
There we go.
There we go. That's the one.
That's it. All that signifies is ready, set, go. Guess what's a-happening?
What's happening
What's
is
the haps?
we are having an episode of Hot Flash Chronicles, and I'm very excited about this one. This is something that's near and dear to my heart. And you said that you haven't studied a ton on it, or you don't know a ton on it, like you know about it.
Yeah, definitely have heard about it.
Mhm.
And I think maybe years and years ago when it first came out,
Mm.
I did some reading on it, but it is about the 5
Love languages. Which I
Yes.
know a lot about. And I've taken the tests. I've made people in my life take the tests. I think it's really important to know what your love language is and what not just your partner, but all of the people that are in your life really consistently are.
Mhm.
So, what the love languages are is each of us has uh, a way that we show love and receive love.
Mhm.
So, and there are 5 of them. So there's words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, gifts, and acts of service. So everybody falls into one of these buckets more than others. It doesn't mean that you don't like the other 4. It just means this is the one that makes you truly feel like you're loved. And in turn, it's how you show love. Now, if you don't align with your partner, then uh, if you're showing them love in your love language and theirs is a different one, it's going to feel off and they won't feel loved and
Yeah.
all this stuff.
The
So,
way you give it doesn't mean it's the way you receive it, and
correct.
vice versa for them too. They might give it a certain way and not
Right.
receive it. So figuring it out is important.
Right. So mine is words of affirmation. So words of affirmation is I need lots of atta girls, like good job, or you look great, or I'm so proud of you. Like I need to be told
Mhm.
that people like what I'm doing, like what I've done, what I look like, all of those things. So I need a lot of verbal pats on the back.
Mhm.
Um, and that is like my sister is also words of affirmation, and my dad is also words of affirmation. Now, my husband is not. They just kind of like meh. Like if I
Mhm.
give him a word of affirmation, he's like, okay, thanks. And he struggles to give them, which can be a struggle if you're in a loving relationship and your partner can't fill that love language bucket.
Yeah.
But I know who can fill them, so I go to those people.
Yeah.
So, do you know what yours would potentially be?
I think mine is probably words of affirmation
Mhm.
also. I
I
think
think it is
that
too.
would be the way I would like to receive it, but I know the way that I show it tends to be acts of service.
Mhm.
That's how I like to show it, and I think a lot of the people in my life, it's because a lot of the people in my life have that love language,
Right. And
like my kids.
I should probably explain what each of them is. So words of affirmation is like you need like to verbally be told that you're doing well, or like hey, your hair looks really cute, things like that. Acts of service is like I'm going to wash the car for you, or I stopped and got you a coffee, or
Doing something
yeah,
helpful.
doing something helpful for someone, like carrying in groceries, something like that. Quality time is just you want people to spend time with you. So they have to physically be in the room with you.
Mhm.
Gifts is you give and show love by receiving things, which a lot of people think that means you're um, like materialistic or
Material.
whatever, but it's just you find great joy in giving and receiving gifts.
Mhm.
And then the last one is physical touch. So I have people in my life that are all 5 of these.
Yeah,
So it's
huggers,
really
yeah.
important to know which ones they are. So my son, his is physical touch. He's always been a very tactile person. He's very huggy, very like
Mhm.
touchy and physically affectionate. And when we see each other, which is often, he always gives me big hugs and he says, Mom, you're doing a great job. You're a great mom. So
Mhm.
he gives me my words of affirmation while I'm giving him his physical touch.
Mhm.
Jeff's is also physical touch.
Mhm.
So if I don't like reach over and hold his hand, then he's going to not feel loved.
That's interesting. I think my husband, I think Phil's is physical touch, which is very interesting because he has a thing called sensory processing disorder.
Isn't that
So,
interesting? Because Sue's the same way.
yeah.
Sue's is physical touch, and she has the sensory processing. It's where her skin prickles when people touch her.
Yeah, yeah, so does Phil, and so but he always wants a hug, and his hugs are very long hugs.
He gives great hugs.
Yeah,
Phil gives
so
great hugs.
so interestingly, that I really think that is his. I don't know, I mean, to me, that's what he consistently shows it
Mm,
is. I don't know if we've ever talked about, like, had the verbal
right.
conversation, but, and I do think that there can be different times in our lives when these hit different.
Sure.
We might have one that's kind of our all around go to, but maybe there are times when we need acts of service, something outside of our regular ballpark just
And I
because of
love
things that are
all
going
of
on.
these things.
Yeah,
I
they all
love it.
make sense.
My mom is 100% quality time. So her bucket gets emptied really fast if you don't see her for a while.
Mhm.
So,
I definitely have some friends who are quality time, which
right.
can be really hard to work around.
I think any of them are hard if you like don't if that's not the love language you speak. You have to
Yeah,
figure out how to do that.
yeah. It might not come naturally, it might
Mhm.
not just be, "Oh, here's how I do that." You might have to kinda practice it a little bit and see, "Oh, that's kinda interesting." And I definitely have a friend I know, she sends gifts all the
Mhm.
time. And they can be big, sometimes they're quite extravagant, sometimes they're small, but it's always with a note or something that lets me know she's thinking about me. She also sends gifts to my children,
Mhm.
and I know in her life she's done that with her relatives and stuff, so I definitely know hers is that. It's like some people's are very obvious if you
Right.
just kind of pay attention
Right.
to
Like
them.
my daughter Anna is gifts. My mother-in-law is gifts.
Mhm.
They just it's more the giving that they love. Like the look on their face when somebody's opening a gift from them, you can tell that
They're
that is
excited
like
about that.
their favorite part of any
Yeah.
holiday kind of thing is the anticipation of did I nail it? And they love finding the perfect gift.
Yeah.
My sister is words of affirmation. Like
Mhm.
knowing all these things, my daughter-in-law's words of affirmation. And I have to say, AJ is so good at giving words of affirmation.
Mhm.
Um, she like if I'm traveling and she knows I'm a little nervous about the event I'm going to, then she's sending me daily affirmations via text, like, you deserve to be there, you're so worthy, you're so beautiful, you're so capable. So having people in your life that know that that's your love language and they
Mhm.
fill that bucket is important. So
Yeah.
because Jeff is not good at giving words of affirmation, he also does not buy into the fact that this is even a thing.
Right.
He's a skeptic. He's just a natural skeptic. So he's like, there are only 5 kinds of people in the world. It's like, well, no, because we all have like we're mostly this, or some people are like split down the middle between 2, things
I
like
mean,
that.
I kind of understand why somebody would think that, but also if you think about what these 5 things are, they're very broad. I
Yeah.
mean, so to me, it feels like, yeah, you very much could be 5 types,
Right,
you
but if
know?
if he were to I guess if I were to pose the question, so imagine I didn't hold your hand at all. I didn't reach over and touch you or play with your hair or
Yeah.
grab your arm. I didn't put my hand on your leg. I didn't hug you. I didn't cuddle with you. Imagine I didn't do that at all. And all I did was tell you how wonderful you are, tell you all the things that I love about you, but I didn't touch you.
Wouldn't fill
If
your bucket.
if I did that for a month, you would have a problem with that.
Yeah, you
Like
would definitely notice
you
something
would
was missing.
crave that physical touch that you weren't getting. I wouldn't crave that if I was missing it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't crave it's funny, a funny story, my sister, so hers is words of affirmation and her husband's is physical touch, and James is all, like he wants to be like an envelope, like one of those koala bear stickies on
Yeah.
Missy, and when they were first married she really struggled because she doesn't like to cuddle, like,
Mhm.
she's uncomfortable with it, she
Yeah.
feels
Some
like,
people feel
"You're in my
claustrophobic.
s" Yeah, exactly, she's like, "You're in my space." So, when she studied the love languages and she realized that he had physical touch in spades, like, he
Mhm.
needed to just be, like, cling wrapped to her for a certain amount of time every day, she said that she would sit there and they'd be, like, on the couch and And she would, in her mind, say, "My husband needs us to feel loved. My husband needs us to feel loved." Like, she would
Yeah.
just say it over and over because she couldn't stand it. And
Yeah.
now they've been together almost 20 years.
Get used to it.
Yeah.
Well, I think the most important thing about this whole idea is literally that you are paying attention to and trying to meet the needs
Mm,
of important people in your life.
right.
Like just that very act right there, like you just paying attention and thinking, well, I'm somebody who wants the people in my life to know they're loved and that
Right.
I care for and respect them. So to me, whether I don't know, sometimes whether something is real or not isn't really that important. It's about your commitment or your willingness
Mm.
to participate in things like this. Like I'm sure there's quizzes and things like
Oh,
this
yeah.
where you and your friends or you and your kids or whatever can go out
There's a whole book on
and
it.
do this. Yeah. And just that very act alone. And maybe you learn something about
Mm,
yourself. Like maybe you don't know which one of these things is. And if you do figure that out, then you have something to go to your partner, your friends, your kids with and say, you know what I've learned about myself? I've learned that this particular, telling me I'm doing a good job is very important to me.
right.
And I remember when my daughter was a teenager, I thought because of the way she is and her personality, I thought it wasn't like that important for us to be at her stuff because she's very independent
Mm.
and she's very strong and she
She's very
was
business.
yeah, she's very
Riley's real
business.
business. She's like,
Yeah, and so we at the time, my husband and I had to commute a long way to work and back. It was like an hour drive each way.
oof.
Yeah, and so we wouldn't get home till quite late. We'd leave very early in the morning. We wouldn't get home till the afternoon. So we had missed quite a bit of her, like after school stuff. Like she was a cheerleader and she did weightlifting, and so she had these things. And this was like her junior year, and uh, she came to me and she said, Mom, I know that you think that it's not important to me
Mm.
that you come to my stuff.
Mhm.
And she goes, I know that because, I am the way that I am. You think that it's not important to me, but I need to tell you that it is. Like, I do want to look out there and see your face. And
Aw.
yeah. So, and she articulated all this, which is, I know, a big deal for her.
Sure.
And I told her right away, I said, oh my God, I I did not know that.
Right.
If I would have known this, obviously she goes, I didn't really know that it wasn't that
Until it
important
was
to me
gone.
until it wasn't there.
Yeah.
And then I just recognized I might not be doing this my whole life. And I want you to be proud of me and see the things that I'm doing.
How
So
mature of her to
yeah,
be able, first of all, be able to vocalize it because it's hard to say like what needs are not being
yeah.
met for you. Like,
And she wasn't doing it to make me feel
sure,
bad.
of
It
course.
was literally just her recognizing that her bucket was that she wanted us to see her and us to tell her she was doing a great job.
Mhm.
So I made a point after we had that talk. I probably made it to 90% of everything for the last 2
Mm,
years of high school.
I love that.
I went to every Friday night game that she cheered at, like everything. The only times I didn't go were when work just absolutely couldn't be coordinated. So she absolutely recognized that I was giving effort, and that really made a big difference.
Aw.
But so just so you know, sometimes we think our kids, like she had her driver's license and she could get herself everywhere. And I was just assuming she was independent. She was 16 years
Right.
old.
Mhm.
It's having your mom there, maybe is not a big deal for some kids. Maybe it is a big deal. But it was important because we sometimes make assumptions that because our kids are becoming more independent, that because they are becoming grown-ups, maybe they don't need us as much. And actually, that's a time I believe now, looking back on all my parenting
Mhm.
years, I actually believe those teenage years are probably more important to your kids and you than even their formative years, like up until age 12 or so.
Mhm.
Because exactly of what I said, they are becoming adults, they are becoming independent, and they need to be launched. And you have to be present
Right.
and be there monitoring it and recognize that you're part of that launching process. You have to let them go,
Right.
and you have to let them go with guidance. So don't make an assumption that they don't need you anymore. They do. They
Right.
still do. And this love language stuff all plays into that. It's my ring. In the sense that they they are telling you, like, with how their act with their actions and their words, what kind of validation they need from you. And that's hard for kids,
It is for sure.
you know?
And one of the ways that I've seen it explained really basically is words of affirmation is Shelly, you make great coffee,
Yeah.
right? Gifts would be like, I brought you a coffee
Mhm.
or I got you a coffee maker. Uh, Acts of
I'd be
service
thrilled
would
with that.
be to buy you coffee so that you could make it or, which
Yeah.
is also gifts, but I can't remember the difference between
What
those
maybe
2.
even making me a cup of coffee.
Making you a cup that's it. Making you a cup of coffee would be acts of service. Buying you coffee would be
The
gifts.
gifts.
Quality time is let's go get coffee,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And physical touch is how does this cup of coffee feel,
Yeah.
right? So it's I heard somebody like kind of break it down that way a while ago, and obviously I don't remember it.
Yeah, but that totally, totally makes sense.
Right. And it's funny because when Jeff and I were pretty early on in our relationship, Kyle recognized that Jeff isn't a words of affirmation person. And Kyle had moved out at this point and he started anytime he and Jeff would text each other, when they would end the conversation, Kyle would say, "Don't forget to tell my mom she's pretty." And this happened like 5 or 6 times, and I realized the connection that Kyle was telling him to say this, and it started to be that Jeff would be like, "Oh, you look really pretty." I'm like, "Oh, you talked to Kyle. How's he
Yeah.
doing?" Right? Like, I knew that it was because of that, and for me, I don't care if it's because somebody told you to, I still wanna hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, somebody else is passing along the information.
Mhm.
And I think that everybody really deserves to be seen and heard the way that they want to. And I do believe that a lot of people have never taken the time
Mhm.
to figure out what it is. And I don't think it would take very long to figure it out, but there'd be some introspection. But there's just a lot of people who think, well, when somebody wants to show me love, they're gonna, they will. And
Yeah, but if like, here's what I would say. If you're having like issues in any relationship, whether it's a platonic one or a romantic one, um, take a look at how you are showing love if you know their love language. Like, if Jeff and I are hitting like some bumps, then I can almost always pull back to like, "Oh, we haven't been cuddling because 'cause I've been traveling a lot," or something like that.
yeah,
Like, you can pull it back to it's like people's, communication style. It's like, are you filling the bucket that they need?
mhm,
So if you're having a rift with someone, like if Shelly and we haven't gotten in an argument in the years that we've been friends, but, if we were, then I could maybe dial back and be like, I'm not really telling her how much she means to me or telling her the value she's providing in our friendship kinda
yeah,
thing. So, you can also look at if there's, like, strife, like, one of the ways to fix it, or help that relationship is to
reinforce that
reinforce the love
the
language,
love
for
language.
sure.
That totally makes sense. I think that's smart. And
Yeah.
I think that people often, when you're, like I said, doing that self, reflection,
Mhm.
a lot of people don't see value in spending time on themselves. Like they're busy, they're out in the world, they're trying to do this stuff and they think, "Well, I'm strong, I'm resilient. I don't need lots of stuff from other people." But I think the thing is, uh as much as you're out there giving away that to other people, you need to replenish your own, source.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you deserve to get whatever how you receive love. You deserve that because for you to be able to go push that back out, push it forwards, pay it forward, you have to have something to draw that from.
Right.
And you deserve, the way that you want love to be given to you, you deserve that. People, especially women, we're not always great about looking at our own needs.
Mm.
We think it's selfish. We think it's self centered. For some
We're
reason,
supposed to be the mom or the wife or the like whatever, fill
Yeah.
in the role.
This
Mhm.
limitless, unending well of love and, protection for other people. And we
We're supposed
often
to
don't
give
do that.
all 5 of the love languages to everybody,
Yeah.
is I think what the thing
That's
is.
how we
We're supposed to
feel.
do acts of service and give gifts and quality time and affirmation and,
We
like
probably do.
yeah,
I
we're
mean, to
sup
be fair.
I feel like it's expected more of us, and the same argument could be for men, like, I think that there's a lot of expectations on men as well. They're different because, um, men's are more
About being a provider and taking
right,
care.
right,
Mhm.
traditionally,
Yeah.
but, I think that like the reason that I think my dad is such a good dad is because he makes sure he also will hug me every time I see him and say, there she is, my firstborn daughter, the girl I'm so proud of. Like
Yeah.
he just beams when he sees me, like my mom is so excited to spend time together. My sister is very quick to give like it's like we
Hmm.
know our people. So
Yeah.
I think that it's
And you probably
interesting to
are
see.
instinctually doing a lot
Sure.
of it.
Yeah.
Like you might not even know that you might be hitting lots of people's buckets because you've already figured that out. But I bet there's a good chance it would take you a second to figure out what your own was.
And I think you're right about the quality time. I think that, um, commodities wise, quality time is the hardest one to fill
It is.
because we only have so many minutes in a day and there's travel time no matter where somebody lives, unless they live with you. Even if they're 5 minutes away, there's still time involved in getting yourself to them. So, I would say that that is the one that is probably the hardest to
Yeah,
fill. If you have a
I
lot of
think
people
so.
in your life that have quality time as their love language, that could be tricky on your schedule.
And I think
So I
part
get what you
of
were saying with that. I was thinking about it as we were talking.
yeah, and
So,
I think with quality of time, it might be that you putting something on the books, like you scheduling something. It might be maybe you are busy for the next 2 or 3 weeks, but you reaching out to the person who you know that that's their love language and saying, "Hey, let's make sure we get some time together. Let's put it on the books," and then following through. A lot of times that is a placeholder, and
mhm,
people know they're going to be getting the thing that they want and that they need from you. So it's a modern world, and sometimes we have to make allowances, but I do think that would be the roughest one. And in the meantime, there might be the words of affirmation and the other acts. You might be able to kind of hold them over with, I so appreciate you as a friend, and I love all the things you do for me. You're so good at taking care of me. I want to make sure we get lunch together soon.
mhm.
So there's ways to kind of probably bring in some of the other ones and
Right,
just
for sure.
reinforce it. But, you know, it's these are all just guidelines and they're ways for you to just be more aware.
It's just something to notice,
Yeah.
right? Like just something to be aware of. And I think it's fun to figure out what people's love languages are.
Hmm.
Like I pay attention to the people that I'm close with. I think that yours is definitely words of affirmation and acts of service for sure. Like
Hmm.
those are your two strongest ones.
Hmm.
Um, because uh when I give those things, then there's a way that you light up
Hmm.
that people that don't have those don't.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like people that like my daughter when she gives gifts, like the excitement on her face is palpable. It's so much different than just somebody like, "Oh yeah, I hope you like the sweater I got." Like Anna is like on the edge of her seat. Like she'll literally like wiggle her fingers because she can't wait to see you
Gift
open the
giving
gift.
is a real close. I mean, I know acts of service is probably,
Yeah.
and I think the reason mine ended up being that way is both of my kids are a little bit on the spectrum. So giving words of affirmation to them, it it was harder. Like I
Hmm.
couldn't get the response
Right.
necessarily. It's like they'd be like, "Oh," but I recognized when I did something for them, then they would respond.
Right.
So I do think it's the way you end up giving does have a lot to do with the people in your life who you love, like how they take it. So I think that's why mine ended up being more acts of service because I had my daughter when I was 20. So I just think it kind of ended
Yeah.
up being with people who maybe are a little bit on the spectrum. They might need more than the audit than just hearing it.
Hmm.
They might need an example. So
And
I
again, we all like all of these things
sure.
usually.
No,
We all like
I
it's not
like
like I don't
giving
like spending
gifts.
time with
I
people. It's
like
just
giving gifts knowing that one comes in real close behind acts of service
mhm.
because I like knowing I thought about the person, I picked the right
You are a great
gift.
gift giver. gift
Yeah,
as
and
well.
that
Yeah.
I
You put a lot of
nailed
thought
it.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that the thing that I got them was really something, and sometimes I know I've given non-traditional gifts because I've just went out of my way to really figure the person out,
Mhm.
and they've, like, totally been like, "Oh my god, I love that so much,
Mhm.
nobody's ever thought of that, da, da, da." So there's something about
Sure.
reinforcing in yourself that you really pay attention to the people in your life and that they know that you know them. I
Mhm.
think that's kind of a special
I
thing
agree.
too. It
I
doesn't
agree.
they don't There's the thing about the gifts, they don't have to be extravagant or expensive.
A
It's
lot of my
about
favorite
showing
gifts have been,
that,
like, made.
yeah, it's
Something
showing
somebody
the
made.
thought that you thought of
Yeah.
them and this thing
Like, you
appeared.
gave a shit about them for a minute and really put thought into, like, "You know what? Shelly would love this. This is perfectly her."
Yeah,
And, like, a just because gift is also really fun. Like,
yeah.
not like, it doesn't have to be a birthday or Christmas or something like that. It can be just like, "Oh my gosh, I saw" like, when you got those lemon, she got us lemon water bottles that were
Yes, they had
matching lemon
lemons
water,
on it.
and it was like she came in like, "Oh my gosh, I got one for myself and I had to get it for you."
Yeah,
Like, and that's now my favorite water bottle
yeah.
because the thought was put into it because we had both, ironically, we were at the same store and we both bought shirts that had blue flowers and lemons, but they weren't the same shirt,
And we're at different
and
ends of
we
the
weren't
store.
near each other, and we
We were
both
both like,
went
"Oh
to
my god,
check
we
out.
love lemons."
Isn't that funny? So she got us water bottles that were blue, stripes with lemons on them, so
Yeah,
things
just
like that,
like,
that's super thoughtful, like,
yeah.
all of those kinda things are really fun
So
to.
I think, it's just that really is the bottom line is if you're a person on this planet who gives a crap about other people, this could be a little shortcut into you thinking, "Oh, my oldest child likes this. My partner likes this. My best friend receives love this way." And it's okay to let people know what your love language is.
Mhm.
Like you can have this conversation with any of
But
those people
also
and say
understand that they might not like,
they might not get it.
Jeff has said, like, "That's just, like, trying to rebuild who I am, and I'm not wired that way to compliment people." I'm just not, and it's like, "Okay, well, I mean, do your best."
Yeah,
And then I'll remind him sometimes, like, "Hey, I'm needing more."
yeah.
Like, it feels really
Am I doing a good job?
squidgy to say, like, "Can you give me more
I need an atta girl.
I need some, like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you," things like that. I need some of that. So but I'll tell him like, "Hey, buddy."
It's hard if you have someone in your life who's a little bit on the spectrum, like my husband is, and both of my kids are a little bit there. FYI, we're all on the spectrum a
Right.
little bit, some people more so than other. My husband is quite far onto the spectrum, so I've learned that just being very direct with him, explaining it as straightforward as I can without a lot of emotion attached, which is hard to do sometimes, but
Like, "How come you don't da da da?" It's like, "Okay, I'm needing something, and I
yeah.
feel really weird saying this, but, I really need for you to tell me
So when
you're
I
doing well."
when I do it like that
Yeah.
with him, when I say, "Phil, I need to tell," like, I'll we actually had a thing in our life, it was called Conversation Bunny. It was this little blue
Stop it, that's so cute.
beanbag bunny, and I would hand it to him, and he would know. I would put it in his hand, and I'd say, "Serious Conversation Bunny." And
Ooh.
yeah, and he would look at it, and he would be like, you could physically
Fully
see him.
present, actively
Yeah,
listening.
he
Yeah.
would he would go into a thing, and that was how I let him know this was something very important to me. I needed his attention, and I needed him to know that what I was gonna say really meant something to me. I
Mm,
wasn't just flying off the handle. It wasn't just a spur of the moment thing. If I was handing him Serious Conversation Bunny, I have a planned subject of something serious that we need to discuss.
right.
And that really worked, and now I don't have the bunny anymore. We do have the bunny, he's packed away somewhere. Now I just have to say the words, "Serious Conversation Bunny," and
I love that.
he'll respond the same way.
I love that.
So, it's like people who are further on the spectrum, sometimes it is really hard for them to do the thing, and they're not doing it to hurt you, they're not
Sure.
withholding. They literally do not know how to do the
Yeah,
thing.
Jeff's like, "That's like
It doesn't
having a
make
zebra
sense.
have spots." Like, I'm not wired that way, and it's like, okay, and that's good to know that
Mhm.
it's not him not trying to show love. He literally doesn't understand how to do it and doesn't think he can understand how to do it. So, I just I get it from other people, and
Yeah.
that's okay. Like, he feels uh,
And he's
all of
probably
the other
doing
love
it in a
languages.
way that he knows how to do it. He's
He does
showing.
acts of service, he does gifts, he does quality time, he does physical touch. He is just not a words of affirmation person. That he's not effusive,
Yeah.
he's not a dick or anything, but he's
No,
just
not at all.
not complimentary. He's very kind to his core, but
Yeah.
and if you ask him, like, "How does this look?"
He'll be
"Wow, you
like,
look really beautiful."
right.
But he won't say that unless it's prompted.
Oh.
So,
And
yeah.
also on the other end of that, if you're Angie in this situation, it's okay to be like a little sad
Mm,
that maybe your partner isn't the one that's going to be able to supply that, but she's done what you need to do, which is you find the other people who can fill that bucket. And then you just, it'll be a work in progress.
mhm,
It's
for
like,
sure.
so I think it's great that Jeff was able to verbalize why that is difficult for him and that it's nothing to do with you.
Right.
It's just like we're all wired a certain way. And I know for some people, if theirs is gifts, if theirs is getting gifts, gosh, I might not always remember that. And I
Right.
might be throwing the words of affirmation at them all the time because that's when I think, you can get crossed and think, oh, they like this. And maybe it really isn't that, which is why checking these out might be a good thing.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So I want to know if you guys know what your love language is and how you figure it out with other people. I'm also trying to my grandkids are starting to get old enough that theirs might start to break through and figure out.
Hmm.
So I want to know what all of theirs are as well. So how do you guys feel about the love languages and how much do you know about them? Is there something we didn't cover? So
Obviously not. We've yammered on and on. Of course, we've covered everything.
okay, Moira.
Don't we always? Yeah,
Shelly always goes into Moira Rose.
I do. He's my idol.
Okay, are we ready for some rapid fire
Well,
questions?
yeah, sure. Heck yeah.
Okay. Shelly, favorite way to cook an egg?
I love eggs so many
That's
different
what I
ways. You are
love.
really making that difficult. I like kind of I'm going to say I like a poached egg and
Oh.
I like it on a piece of buttery toast.
Mhm.
And it's got to have the yolk just barely done on the outside, like a little bit of that harder yellow, and then that nice goo in the middle. I don't want it runny. I want it
Oh,
a
I
little
want it runny.
tiny bit firm on the edge, but runny in the
I
middle.
want it to be a mess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
poached egg,
Okay,
salt and
okay,
pepper on
love
top.
that.
Hmm. Well, since we just talked about Schitt's Creek, I'm gonna say, Angie, who is your favorite Schitt's Creek person?
Uh,
I'm gonna give you two.
oh, geez, okay.
If you had to pick between Moira and Stevie, because I feel they're
Oh,
very
shit.
opposite. They're very opposite.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Schitt's Creek.
I
Or
wish I
Schitt's
was
Creek.
more like both of them.
I know, I love them both,
I love them both.
but they're very different.
They're so different. I think, oh, I'm gonna go Stevie.
She's so
She's
sarcastic.
so sassy and
That
so witty. My God, she
that
dry humor.
deadpan dry, I love that every time. So, yeah. I know, I was trying to
Love
make it
Stevie. Oh
difficult for
my
you.
gosh. Yeah, she's I think the wine conversation is my favorite
Oh, yeah.
scene
So
in
good.
all of Schitt's Creek, which by the way is my favorite TV show.
Oh my
And you
god.
introduced me
We're
to
gonna
it.
have to do a
We
pod
should
on
do an
Schitt's
episode
Creek.
just on Schitt's Creek.
We are going to.
I saw an interview with Alexis. I can't remember the actress's name.
Mhm.
Did you know she only said "Ew, David" like 3 times in the whole
Yeah,
series?
it's Anne, and
Ew,
her name
David.
is
Ew.
Annie.
Annie something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, Shelly, second question.
yes.
Oh my gosh. I haven't talked about him in a minute.
Uh-oh.
Who is him?
Is it gonna be Jason
It
Momoa?
is Jason
Ah, I know it!
Momoa. So I know you're not a Jason Momoa, like you're not a fan of his,
I
but
like him.
you like him, but you don't find him to be
He's not my
the perfect specimen of a human that I do.
right.
Uh, so what is your favorite thing that you've seen Jason Momoa in? What's the favorite role that you've seen him, or have you seen anything with him in it?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I've seen stuff with him in it. I mean, I know he was, like, wasn't he in Aquaman and stuff? Wasn't he
He
in one
was
of those?
Aquaman.
He was
He wasn't
Aquaman.
just in
He
Aquaman.
was Aquaman.
Was he in oh my gosh.
I'm gonna tell you,
Hi, Laura.
I have seen him in a few different things. I know I saw a couple episodes. I think it's called See or something like that.
Yeah,
It's on
where
Netflix.
everybody's blind.
Yeah, wherever he's blind. I've seen him in that and like some stuff from his past. But I'm gonna tell you, the most appealing thing that I've seen him
Mm,
is just him in his interviews.
yeah.
I think he's a solid actor and stuff, but I like his personality just when he's been interviewed. He seems like a really down to earth, normal, funny guy.
He is, and he just did his first podcast interview.
Oh, wow.
Where he was
And it wasn't
he
with
was being
us?
interviewed. I know. Well,
Wow.
to be fair, we haven't asked him, but he was on Smartless that
Yeah.
has, Jason
Jason
Bateman
Bateman and
and
Will
Will
Arnett.
Arnett
Yeah.
and Sean Hayes.
Yeah, that's
One of my favorite podcasts, by the way. But it was his first podcast interview, and it was so good. It was very raw and real,
mhm.
and, like, he talked about, like, fears and traumatic events that happened to him, and I was like, "God, I love him even more."
Yeah.
Oh, ugh. Anyway, okay. So,
All
you
right.
would say just him as a human being.
All right. Angie, I'm going to kind of ask a food question. If you could go on a food competition show, a reality food competition show, would you go on something like the British Bake Off, British baking show, or Chopped, where they bring out the random things and you have to make a meal
Mm.
out of it?
I feel like I'd be good at either of those.
Like Chopped is a one-shot show. You go on and
Mhm.
you do it all in one shot.
I've never
The other
watched
one
The
is
Great
this.
British Bake Off.
Oh,
Okay, settle down.
holy mother! What?
I think I've seen, like, a clip of a couple of them, but I have not actually
Oh,
watched.
okay.
Okay,
We're gonna have to watch that,
okay. We're gonna have to
girl.
watch that. I am really good at baking,
And that would be a
especially
series like it's many weeks in a row and
of the
somebody gets
same
eliminated.
contestants.
Yeah, and a different one gets eliminated each week.
I feel like okay, you didn't name this one, but I feel like I'd be more of a MasterChef girl, where
Okay.
you're given assignments
Yeah,
and,
well,
like,
that's kind of British
you
Bake
can make
Off.
the best
Yeah.
avocado toast, but, um, I would say of the 2 you picked, I'm gonna guess the British Bake Off
Mhm.
because
It's more
I
instructions.
really feel like baking is one of my
Girl,
superpowers.
you gotta watch that.
Okay.
You've gotta watch
I
it. And
don't
the
bake a lot of
British
cakes
version.
and stuff though, but I like
It's like the most feel-good competition. You know, a lot of them are cutthroat and people are scheming. This is not that.
okay.
This is that you're supportive and you become friends with your competitors. You're still competing because you want to win, but you are not mean to other people. And it just makes you feel good.
Okay, well, when I finish this, most recent season of Big Brother, I will start the Great Brit
Yeah, new episode
wow,
this year, but you have like
Great
9 or 10 seasons
British
you could go through.
Bake
Bake Off.
Off.
Yes. Watch it if you're not.
Don't watch my waistline when I start watching that.
No, that
Okay,
is
you
not
guys.
up for debate.
This has been another episode of Hot Flash Chronicles. We thank you so much for listening. Please send us a like, a follow, a subscribe, uh, a share, all of those things,
Or
and
$50,000.
or
It's sent out to.
$50,000, and a 5-star review would be amazing. So,
Yes.
with that, we bid you adieu, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Ciao. That's it for today's dose of midlife mischief on Hot Flash Chronicles. Thanks for listening and letting us overshare.
If you laughed, nodded along, or shouted same at any point, hit that subscribe button and share us with your favorite humans. And remember, we're still hot, just in flashes.